could equate him to the world of, say, football, he would be Maradona and Pelé rolled into one. That's the stature he's got in this game.
Some people don't like Ken, you know, who really can't stand the way Ken has always kind of, you know, rubbed the pile up the wrong way. But that's what Ken's there for. That's what Ken Loach is about. You know, his given task in his life is to rub the pile up the wrong way, you know. And I that's, you know, thank God for him.
I passed 11 plus, I went to the grammar school. And the grammar school was a deeply unfair system, but those who were lucky enough to pass went to a very nice school. I had one brilliant teacher, a history teacher, called Sidney Reed Brett. Everything was broken down into causes, events and results. It was hugely valuable afterwards, because you have to ask the fundamental question, is this true? Is it worth describing? Is it the story worth telling?
There isn't an awful lot of films out there which actually tell the story of a bus driver or a labourer. You know, who wants to make a film like that? Well, Ken does, because they're important and they reflect the times. That's why it's important. That's why it's essential to have someone like Ken Loach, because he tells you about the times that you're living in. And more importantly, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, people will be looking at that stuff going, well, that was Britain in the 90s.
Don't stick one up your fucking hole, going in there.
As well as when you look at stories like where the power relationships lie, you know, what are people up against? You know, what is their situation? How do they see their world?
He's always stuck to his guns. He's had the same politics. And in fact, I think in some ways, his politics and his commitment and his consistency was strengthened as time has gone on.
There are not all that many socialists left in England. He is a socialist and proud of it.
Your view of the world, your politics, to put it crudely, don't have a kind of direct one-to-one relationship with the films you make or what you say, but it informs it. It says this story is worth telling, that story isn't particularly significant.
In this earnest piece of social realism that we'll just do that shot once more.
There's nobody who quite has the legacy of Ken in terms of his beliefs and the consistency of his beliefs. He's always been true to who he is.
Politics informs your aesthetic of filmmaking because it determines how you photograph people. For example, if you put a wide-angle lens on and shine a light in somebody's right flat on their face and shoot them close up, you turn them into an object, which seems to me quite a right-wing thing to do. It turns people into objects. And so you can wage war against them, you can exploit them, you can discount them, you can call them asylum seekers and undeserving and expel them from the country. And it's a hostile view of people. If you put on a tighter lens and sit further back and light them in a friendly way, you identify with them and you share their feelings and you cry when they cry and you're angry when they're angry and so on. And there's a solidarity between the viewer and the person in the film.
He actually likes human beings. He actually has a feel for their weaknesses and their strengths. And he has a kind of anger in him that a lot of people aren't treated better.
What is it to be human and part of the world? You can't just walk away from what's happening, much as we would like to. And in the end, there is no home but the struggle.
People look back at Ken Loach's films and they will be absolutely amazed, because also they are a social history of this country, and they're an accurate social history of this country. They reflect things as they truly are.
Maybe if we tell the truth about the past, maybe we tell the truth about the present. We made the film together.
it's certainly not for me, it's for all of us. Merci à Cannes, merci à tous. Merci.